Listening, guys, one of the most important yet scarce resource on the internet, and not probably because there isn't content written or spoken in Romanian, but because it's not translated to bloody English, is it? Right. So, that being said, welcome to learning listening, or basically getting familiar with listening. Getting familiar with Romanian in 30 days is almost coming to an end. And with this occasion, I want to say once again, please come and join our live Q&A session about basically building a learning plan and also everything that we have talked about. That's going to happen next week. If you if you want to find some accountability buddy, we'll also do that. We'll hopefully try to help you clarify your own learning plan. In terms of listening is, like all the input comes in, you might hear it, you might recognize some of it, but it can get quite difficult to catch up or to follow through with the amount of speed natives speak. So the way to do that is really, firstly, take it step by step and from the very, very tangible, beginner-friendly resources that you can find. There are also A081 resources, and you should start really with those. Otherwise, you're going to get very, very overwhelmed, and it can be just discouraging, and you might stop learning Romanian, and why are we even talking about that here? So, first thing, try to be consistent, but start with a very small iteration and with your own level, which might be 0, which is also fine. The way to do that is to get as much listening as possible through different places. And also, since today's technology allows different resources like ChatGPT and to speak to you in Romanian, or YouTube to give you auto-generated Romanian subtitles basically for almost everything, you might find it very useful. Now, with listening, the most important thing I think is to do it daily, just to get used to the sound of Romanian. So whether we're talking about podcasts, music, YouTube videos, other type of videos, series, films, news, anything that is digestible should be part of your day, just to get used to hearing it. Not to actually understand what they say, because you will not understand what they say. If you're a complete beginner to Romanian and you start listening to the radio in Romanian, you will not understand everything they say. That's normal, that's natural, that's human. That's a beginner's error of judgment to think that you will understand everything. So don't expect that from yourself. Don't set your expectations too high, because people do that with listening, and you might fall short. But it's important to do it daily, 100%. And it doesn't really matter, as I said, what resource you're taking, but start slow. And probably one of the resources to start slow with is coming back to the easy readers, where there is this podcast that kind of fell short, I think, a year ago. I don't know if he's going to continue it. But apart from the podcast, there's plenty of other audio resources that are, some of them at least, made for beginners. And you can hear the text spoken, and also you can read it, which is really, really cool. Now, for listening stuff in your car, before work, at lunch, after work, and so on, for stuff to put in the background, you can find different radios such as Europa FM, DGFM, Radio Europa Liberă, Romania, with its video resources over here, which is really, really cool. So this is news, also Euronews, DG. There are many, many of them. If you want a podcast, many people have told me many good things about the Camelia's podcast. I did hear a couple of episodes. It's really, really beginner friendly. but also can get quite advanced. So yeah, definitely recommend her podcast. It's on Spotify and I think most other podcast platforms. Really good, really helpful. However, don't expect to understand everything. As I said, some activities, some listening activities are made just to listen, not to understand as well. To understand and to focus and to get words, you have to sit down at a desk with your laptop or your notebook and actively understand what they say, change the speed, make it half, make it 0.25, doesn't matter, but spend focus time every week, for example, or every 2 weeks, or however often you have time, spend time to focus on the listening. Again, focused on the listening. That's different from just having it in the background. Yeah, and set your expectations accordingly because you might get very frustrated or sad. Now, talking about films and videos, for example, obviously you can find them anywhere from YouTube to I'm going to show you here on Discord. We have a whole listening material section that you can go through beginner, and the chat is here, the intermediate as well, some memes, the advanced section for listening. And if you want series and films, you can go on Amazon. I heard recently that Amazon has some films on its Prime, the Prime Video. It has some films and series that are dubbed in Romanian, which I think is quite cool. There's plenty of films and series on Netflix. There's a lot of resources out there if you really want to see films. You can watch Romanian films with English subtitles, or you can watch English or other language films with Romanian subtitles. Just use a VPN. If you use VPN straight into Romania, you'll definitely find the subtitles for Romanian, as well as many other resources here, news and so on and so forth. But things can get quite advanced quite quickly. But again, focus on beginner stuff if you're a beginner. Now, in terms of if we keep talking about the subtitles, most of season 12 culture has these subtitles because many of these videos have a lot of Romanian spoken. Most of them, I would say over half of them, I speak in Romanian. And with this occasion, I want to do a little spoiler that soon there will be a lot of Romanian on this channel. Yes, there will. Big spoiler alert. And also, some of these activities, especially the Ursul Păcălit de Vulpe, has a whole dedicated PDF and another video where we talk about the specifics of the language on Patreon. And also on Patreon, there is a whole big collection on listening with levels from A1 to, I think there is even a 1 or 2, B2. Not many B2s, but mostly A1, A2, and even B1. So if you want focused listening, specifically for your level, you can find it on Patreon, where you also can test because that knowledge, that listening skill, because it has questions. So that's really useful. Another way to test your understanding, for example, on easy readers, is quite straightforward. Just make sure you understand. Just don't look at the text, for example, and just listen, and then look at the text and see if you understood. Same with some of the recordings from the videos on the news or radio channels. Some of them, if you click on them, have a transcript. Maybe not this one, but some of them have a transcript, so you can check that out. So that's another way to test your knowledge, your listening skills, basically. What else? Romanian has accents. And this is basically the pro tip of the day, the special tip of the day. If you want to learn Romanian, I would say quicker, and if you want to, get familiar with as many sides of Romanian as possible, although it's true you might be just stuck or tied to one region in Romania, but regardless, you should start from day one to listen to different accents in Romanian, or ask friends to impersonate different accents, or just find resources with different accents yourself. I think it's crucial if you want to, on the long term, obviously on the long term, this is very important for long term. If you care about like going on a trip to Romania, I think this advice is useless. But if you want to focus on long term Romanian learning, definitely try to listen Romanian with different accents, because that's how you'll basically widen your ears and your listening abilities. That being said, tick the box. Day 25 is gone, is ready, is done. Tips are over. The links, you'll find them in the description. Do not worry about that. I have you covered. Only a couple days, and we're gonna touch on the learning plan. So until speaking production and speaking interaction, which are two different things, and you'll see why, I'm gonna say la revedere.